power and the money and the fame. Get it out the concrete, that's how we made the name. Bow down, kiss the ring. Wear my flaws like a crown, that's why they call me the king. All about the power and the money and the fame. Get it out the concrete, that's how we made the name. Bow down, kiss the ring. Wear my flaws like a crown, that's why they call me the king. K-I-N-G, yeah, they gon' envy. I'm still street, you get the beats like an MP. Still saying 10T, low to my Benji. Dirt all on my boots, all on my heels like a NC. I was
Man, how y'all doing? Hey, good evening. It's your boy Rajeen, the king of romance. And man, we got a good one for you tonight, man. I'm hanging out with my man, Daryl Harmon tonight, man. Y'all give it up.
All right,
What's going on, Mr. Harmon?
What's going on, Ra? Glad to be here on this platform, man.
Man, I'm glad to have you, man. Hey, let the people know, man, where they can find you at. Let them know what we're doing tonight, man.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about the book tonight. Again, I'm Daryl Harmon. I'd like to say, thanks for having me on your show. We've been trying to get this done for a couple of weeks, and we finally got it here tonight. You can find my book. My book is on Amazon. Title of the book is Christmas is Coming, with the subtitle, All I Want for Christmas is Good Credit and Positive Cash Flow. You can also find that book on my publishing website, which is on the banner, which is chargeit2myhead.com. Chargeittomyhead.com.
No doubt, man. I'm glad we finally got you on, man. Christmas is coming. Yeah. Man.
Christmas is coming, man.
We're gonna get right into it. First of all, hey, where you from? There?
I'm originally from Connecticut.
Okay.
Born and raised, Fairfield County, Bridgeport area. And I reside now. I'm out here in Charlotte, North Carolina. I moved out here about 3 years ago. In fact, it's three years this month.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah. Man, so we like to get first of all, we like to get right into it on this show, man. And I like to let people know that when we have you on the show, man, we like to bring brothers, give brothers a platform. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole point.
Right.
Brothers a platform, man, to showcase their talent, showcase their ability to interact with our people, man. Our people need what we got to give. You know what I'm saying? So we created this platform to give a voice to our people. You know what I'm saying? People of color that's out here, grinding that, in any other situation, people might not know they're out there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm very blessed. I feel real privileged to have you on here, man. It's like, man. So we like get ready. So let's talk about Christmas is coming. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Give us a little background without giving away the book, because we want people to go buy the book.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, go buy the book. Ultimately.
Yeah, definitely, man. We want to get a little background on it.
So the background is I have kids. The oldest being my son, who recently turned 16, and he was about 14 when I decided to write the book. And he was living in Texas at the time. And it's just the thing. I know you're a father, you're a dad, and as a parent, you want to tell your kids everything, the mistakes you've made and the things that you've learned throughout life. And you just want to leave that seed there for them. And hopefully that when they become of age, they'll follow that path, right?
True.
So I was telling him some things and talking to him, and my daughter, she's 14, talking to her, telling her some things. And I just said, I got to do more. I can't, if something were to happen to me, these things are too valuable for them not to know specifically and directly what this is about. Okay. True. They're not teaching credit in schools. They're not teaching positive cash flow in schools. So I have experienced the good and the bad. And I've also had businesses dealing with repairing credit and building up credit and increasing cash flow. So it's only right that I put it on paper for them and also, for those that are in need of that type of help. So pretty much that's what came about. The original title I had was the subtitle, All I Want for Christmas is Good Credit and Positive Cash Flow, but it's kind of long. So during my research, what I learned was, hey, it's okay to have a subtitle. So then that's when the title became Christmas is Coming, that expectation, and with the hopes being that one day we will remove all of the things that kind of don't matter, and just expect these two things and more. Not just these two things, because obviously there's health and there's well-being for not just yourself but your family members. However, specifically pertaining to this, have that expectation that your credit be good and your cash flow be good.
Man, when I say, man, we don't need anything more than that right now. It's like it's funny because as a culture, and it's bad. It's not even funny. It's kind of, it gets to the point where we know we need that structure. A lot of times as people of color, we're not taught credit. We're not taught the importance of credit. We're not taught until it's too late, until our credit's already messed up. You know what I'm saying? So definitely, man, this is definitely something we need to, leak into our communities. And it doesn't even go for just kids. I mean, I've been in a situation to where I was talking to my dad recently, and kind of teaching him about how I boosted my credit so fast. He said, "How'd you do that?" And when I told him, he was like, "Man, for real?" And I was like, "But for our culture not to know these, these I'm not gonna call them tricks, but to know how to do this and maintain it is disturbing at sometimes. You get what I'm saying? It is disturbing. So So what's your book? How do you feel like? And I don't want to step on your toes, but how do you feel like? How's it structured? In a sense of, how do you put it out to the people?
It's structured as that. It's structured as credit being the elephant in the room. That's the thing that conversationally, that's what we talk about. We talk about how is your credit? How is this? How is that? Now, I will say, Ron, I want to share this with you. Very imperative. The underlying issue of challenged credit oftentimes is lack of cash flow. We've been doing for not just what we've been doing, generations have been doing, is replacing the lack of adequate cash flow with credit. And it's just a temporary fix. It's not long term,
Yeah.
And so when it's time to make the big purchases, and we really get big value from those things, like buying a house with great interest rates, or buying a car, taking a 6-year, sometimes even 7-year loans on a high interest rate because your credit is not good, and your cash flow is weak. It really sets you back. I mean, how can you go 7 years of paying $200 to $300 more than what you would pay if your credit was not as challenged? And again, the underlying issue I've seen has been a lack of cash flow. So I talk about credit in the book in the beginning. I talk about if you have challenged credit, how to get it right. And the maintenance is only, in my opinion, by increasing your cash flow, because then you don't need to rely on your credit as much.
Wow, man, it's somebody like it's one of the things that somebody need to hear this. I didn't, and I'm embarrassed to say, but I didn't understand credit until I was trying to buy a house recently. And I know credit. I know what my credit needs to be good, but I didn't understand the full expenditure of what I needed to have, or what I need to have in place to be able to buy a house.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? And like you said, credit is just, like you said, unless you have that cash flow, what I'm saying, you're not gonna be able to maintain the maintenance on it. What I'm saying? It's not gonna
work.
And it's not gonna work. You can't buy. I can buy a house right now. They give me a $500,000 loan. They can take it from me 3 months from now if I can't pay it. You know what I'm saying? So, man, this is definitely, man.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Hey, Top, go ahead.
About not to cut you off, but I'm glad you brought that up.
No,
about buying a house, purchasing a house. I talk about that in the book because a lot of times it's a big purchase, and some generations we're the first ones to ever do it. Okay, so we're excited. We're not patient about it. The banker said, "Hey, you can get this house, possibly no money down or 3% down. Oh, we look in the 401k. We got that. Okay, Here goes some of the problems about that. They're not approving you based on your net income. They're approving you based on your gross income, which in most cases is 20 to 25% less of what you can actually spend. Okay.
Gotcha.
So what does that mean? That means there's very possible you're going to run out of money in that situation.
True.
So now we start to look at how to properly get yourself in position to purchase a home where you need to manage your debt to income ratio based on your net, not your gross. I know it sounds good to say I make $80,000 a year. However, do you actually bring it home? That's what I want to talk about.
Exactly.
Do you actually bring it home? You don't. You bring about 20 to 30% less home. Okay. So that's when you're going through those motions of purchasing a home. If there's anybody in the audience that's about to purchase a home, it's not just about the credit score. You can have a 680. That doesn't mean you can afford that house. It doesn't mean that.
See, you need to preach, because I'm telling you, I just found that out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's like I said, it's embarrassing to know. And before I go any further, I like to say I should have said this from the beginning. Give a shout out to my man, my co-host, The Real Justice, had a family emergency, but he in our hearts, keep him in your hearts. You know what I'm saying? Like he's still on the platform with us, but like I said, keep him in your hearts. For real.
I noticed he wasn't gonna be here. I love the flavor that he brings to the show, man.
Yeah, we'll have you back on, man. Yeah, he like I said, this show, man, is big with the Real Justice in there, man. He would have had you on here, man. But so definitely, man, because like I said, the knowledge is there, and a lot of times, you know, in our culture, and it's embarrassing to say, but we mess about kids' credit, you know, and it's just like there's a lot of kids' credit messed up before they're 10 years old. You know what I'm saying?
10, man. I mean,
crazy.
It's crazy, but we don't have to do that anymore. You know, we do not have to do that anymore. There's many ways to increase your cash flow. I talk about some of them in the book. I'm going to get into a lot more of them in my next book, the manuscript I'm already working on. But it's not going to make any sense to you unless you get this book right here, unless you read this book and start from the beginning, because a lot of times we like to skip over stuff, and it doesn't work. You got to take the right road, no shortcuts, straight to it, you know? So there's a lot of ways to increase your cash flow. Normally what we would do is get a part-time job. Some of us go back to school. Some of us even quit the job, and hopefully we get a better paying job. But there's a lot of ways, even on platforms like this. I mean, it really was easy to get on this platform in such a way. However, there's a lot of people that charge astronomical amounts to put this camera in my face, man. And so that's just another stream of income for them. You have I don't want to give away too many plugs because they're not paying me to give them away. But you have Uber, you have Uber, you have Lyft, you have Instacart, Turo, Airbnb. You have all kinds of virtual assistants types of things that you can do. And you don't have to have a plethora of experience to do these things, but just to be able to increase your cash flow. And the main thing is being able to say no to yourself, budget. I talk about these things in my book on simplify things, and just be able to be aware, gain that awareness that, hey, I'm spending too much. Because the way you spend and your money, a lot of it is tied to our emotions. So, you know, you just have to be in tune with yourself in order to properly, you know, just play the whole thing, increasing your cash flow, making sure you're not just swiping cards. If you know you're not disciplined when you go out, leave them home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Leave them home. Like just leave them home, because that thing can set you back for years. It can set you back for years.
So let me ask you this. It is, I guess, it's a culturally biased question, but where do you think we fail as a culture financially? Like, what do you think is the biggest thing that we fail in our culture financially that doesn't allow us to be homeowners, that doesn't allow us to have big savings accounts? Like, so And before I let you answer that, so the reason I'm asking this because I talked to somebody a couple years back, and they were like, I'm taking all my money out of my 401k because, you know, I can take care of my own money. I shouldn't have to pay somebody else to take care of it, blah, blah, blah. Do you feel like that's where we fail as a culture? I mean, or do you feel like we should be able to take care of our own money? Or like, you know what I'm saying, what is our downfall, I guess I'm saying, as a culture when it comes to finances?
I mean, that's a loaded question. I appreciate it, though. It's a great question. Generally, I would say information was a big deal. You know, misinformation and the lack of information that we had access to. So we didn't know. My mother didn't know. You know, so my grandfather didn't know. So I can't blame them. What I can do is make sure my son knows, and make sure my daughter knows. I can be on this platform and bring it to you by way of my book and just speaking right now. So I don't know if we ultimately, I don't know if we failed. I think if you had the information and you didn't use it properly, then there's a good chance you failed. But it's different when you don't have access to the information, and the conversations in your home are not the same. The conversations at your family reunions are not the same because we weren't not given the information. So now with the internet, with so much going on, with even TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, the information is readily being shared. So I would say, even though you didn't know, even though you may have made some mistakes before, or excuse, but it's good that you don't have an excuse. We just ultimately we have to just be intentional about what we want. We have to be intentional more so about what we need. And in some cases, you just downright have to deny yourself from something that you've been doing for 20, 30, 40 years. And you just have to say enough is enough. Because I'm going to tell you right now, the world is not waiting for you to change. There's been a shift. There's been a major shift. And it's been going on for a while. Now we've started to feel it by way of this pandemic. You have stimulus packages, just $1,400. And I say that because when you waited 6 or 2 months for $1,400, it's like you're not even getting it. It's like negative 14 because you already owe it to somebody. So yeah. It's like, and you have things like our income. I mean, we weren't always the first to be hired. Sometimes the first to be fired. So it's tough. It's been tough. I think that we have great opportunity now. Our kids, even us. I mean, I'm young, 47. So, that's what it's just a tough question. There's so many intangibles tied to it. You know,
I guess for me, and I would say this is, you know, we talk about stimulus checks, and when we got our first stimulus check, when the first stimulus checks went out, Walmart was packed. You know what I'm saying? People out buying flat screen TVs, and it's like, and like you said, the education behind it is not, it wasn't there because we didn't get stimulus checks to go out and buy new PlayStations or you know what I'm saying, flat screen TVs. You know, it's supposed to be a relief. Relief meaning, you know, put that on something, put that on a bill, put it in the bank, buy food. You know, but I remember being in Walmart and, like I said, a couple of days after stimulus check, getting stimulus check, everybody. I mean, I'm talking about like it was like right after tax season. You know what I'm saying? And people, and like I said, we don't teach the true, I guess, purpose of what we're doing here in a sense of get the taxes. You know, taxes is not free money. You know what I'm saying? Nope. When you get your taxes back, this money was yours from the get-go. You know what I'm saying?
It was yours. You loaned it out with no interest.
With no interest. You just basically get it back. Then you get it and you spend it, and all of a sudden, you know, 2 months later, you can go to the pawn shop and buy everything that somebody else, you know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? So it's just like, we don't teach that. We don't teach the concept of why or what to do with our money when we get it, you know? And like you said, you talking about high interest loans, you know, this is something that, you know, I knew about because I was I was in the military, and a lot of times in the military, loan places don't loan soldiers money because they know that
Oh
they can
wow.
get
Okay.
into trouble. Yeah, like a lot of times
Right.
you can't, as an active soldier, you can't go out and borrow money. Used to be a
Okay.
long time ago, but you can't get
Right.
cash advances, you can't do that kind of stuff. They make you sign some type of,
Waiver.
non-disclosure. What
Right.
happens? Yeah, waiver, because what happens is the government don't play. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And if you go after one of their people, you know what I'm saying, after charging them 200% interest on a cash
Right.
advance, then there's an
Right.
issue. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
it's something I had to learn, like you said, in this culture. Like I said, my parents, I can't blame my parents. My parents didn't know. Their parents didn't know. You know what I'm saying? But when I did, my son is 24 now. When he was about 16, 17 years old, I taught him about credit. You know,
Right.
how important credit is, because, like I said, this generation has to do that. And if we
Right.
do it now, he'll teach his son or his daughter about it.
Right.
It's
Well, they'll see it. They'll see it.
Yeah, exactly.
They'll see the stability. They will see the stability.
Yeah.
You know.
And it's funny how we go about stuff in opposed to how other coaches go about stuff.
Right.
And I finally got, in the last 6 or 7 years, my 401k, got my money's piling up, blah, blah, blah. And I finally understood what a 401k was.
Right.
But I still talk to brothers who like, I'm not putting my money in a 401k. I'm gonna keep my money. I know I've met brothers that still got, money under their mattress. You get what I'm saying?
It's not. Yeah. It's not working that way. Money don't work that way.
Exactly, because you got to make your money work for you.
You have to invest it. And my next book, we're gonna be talking about some real simple that we should be doing. I mean, stocks, forex, there's
It's
a lot of
funny
stuff.
you say that.
There's so many different things.
I literally just started trading like probably about 2 months ago.
Good.
And I didn't know. I was nervous. You're
Right,
nervous about what you don't know. Especially when it comes to your money. And I got friends. I got a group of good friends, and I kind of pulled them in. Well, one of them pulled me in. He's been doing it for a minute, but it's something that as a culture we haven't done. And it's like now it's like, man, hey, I made $50 last week, and people say, yeah, that's it. Like I'm saying, that wasn't my money. I ain't do no work for it.
That wasn't your money. Right. If you had it in the bank, if you made that in a week or two, leave it in the bank for 12 months, see how much you get back.
Exactly. And it's we talk about this all the time on this show, man, and we try to build a culture of what we call a army of warriors that will build a positive future for our young adults.
Right.
And this is something they need to know. We do a panel, which there's no problem. I'm definitely gonna invite you back to our panel to where I have young men like us that come in, and when I say young men, I'm 48 too, so you're good. So so we have, what we do is we do a panel across the board, so we talk to our younger generation to give them the tools of what they need to create a future that would thrive for our culture. So what I'm saying, definitely at some point, man. Definitely within the next couple of weeks, probably end of the month, we're going to do a panel, and we have anything from teachers, mentors, legal, somebody like yourself with finances. So as a profession, what do you do?
I'm a carpenter by trade, and I have a few other businesses. I've been a carpenter since 1992.
Nice.
And I got into the field, and it's blessed my life, man. And I've never gone a day without eating, and never felt like I couldn't get nothing done, regardless of how things happen, down low. I knew that I could make it. I could make it. And with that, I've gone into other businesses that are doing pretty good. So I'm excited about it. This is the first quarter of the year, so the first quarter of the year is like, that's everything for me, like, because this is where I set the pace for the year. So this is where you set the pace. So the pace has been set. I set the pace in 2020 and finished the year strong. I'm expecting to do that in this year as well. So far, everything's looking good.
Man, it's like, that's another reason why we really like this platform, man, because we always meeting brothers that's doing big things. I'm by myself right now, so give me a minute. I'm pretty sure he'll be right back. I think he fell off, but we'll get him back on. So listen, while we're waiting for him to come back, to let y'all know, I got a I'll tell you in the show. He back. Give me a second.
Yeah.
There you go. He back. All right. I was going to get ready to put a plug in there. So anyway, so it's funny you say that. My dad owns a construction company in North Florida. So I've done some carpentry. I've done a little bit of everything. I went to military kind of early, but younger years I got into carpentry and that type of stuff. When I'm saying so, and like you said, you're always gonna have food on the table. Once you got to trade. You know what I'm saying? Because certain things people always gonna need is something built.
Right.
you know what I'm saying?
It gets easier. It gets easier. I mean, the lane that I'm in right now, it's really it's very, very simple, very easy to put a system in place, which I've done, and it's turnkey right now. So
Nice.
hopefully over the next 2 years, I'm going to start doing some teaching of the younger adults, and had a meeting today with the gentleman that's doing some ministry work with the prison. So we're going to work and collaborate on that to get some things moving.
So let me throw this out there to you too, just because I think God worked for a reason, and he put people in your way. My best friend, my little brother, he does a mentor program with the Boys and Girls Club. He just got a new contract to where he's going to be doing virtual mentoring, whatever. So if it's okay with you, I'm gonna link y'all up, man. And like I said, because I know that our youth, especially youth from different communities, man, they need to know how to handle their finances.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And absolutely.
It's important. It's imperative for them to know, about credit, about their future. As I've seen too many young adults. I've seen too many older adults. When I say older adults, I mean 60, 70, even probably 80 years old, still working.
Still working, man.
Yeah, and you don't want to be working. You don't still want to be working at 70 years old.
You can't.
Unless it's something that you enjoy doing.
Just to stay busy. I mean,
just stay busy.
Keep active. Stay active.
Exactly.
You
don't want to be. You don't want to be somewhere. And I the other day, and I'm not saying this to put anybody down, but I was with my stepson, and we were at McDonald's, and the lady at the window, she had to be about, I would say she's 66, maybe 65, 66, and she had an attitude, about, she was at the work in the window or whatever. But him and I talked about it. I said, listen, this is why you gotta get an education, because I don't know the lady backstory. Don't get me wrong. I said, but get an education, save your money, plan for your future. You don't want to be working at McDonald's at 65 years old.
No, you don't. And as you point that out, there's a couple. Let me just pull it back a little bit. You mentioned the youth and creative. That's what, as we get older, we start to lose our creativity, and so that's why it's good to get to thinking. Their mind is so creative now. They're coming up with different concepts and different things that can be done, and so I definitely be excited about talking to the youth. And the other thing, in response to the lady, there's, like I mentioned, that we have access to things. Hopefully you can put this on your banner for your viewers. It's about living wage. I want to share this with, and I use this to just to prove my point when I wrote my book.
Okay.
It's MIT Living Regulator.
I lost you for a minute.
MIT, Mary Igloo Tom, living wage. Okay, if they Google that, it's going to take them to a website, and it's very powerful, man. It's powerful. Where what they'll be able to do is go on that website, depending on the makeup of their family. They'll be able to see what they should be making a year after taxes. Okay. Well, it'll show them before taxes and after taxes.
Okay.
Some of the things that they deduct are the essentials: food, daycare, clothes and stuff like that. They give you that, and you use what applies to you. I say that to say we're talking about for the past, I don't know, 2 months, they've been talking about this minimum wage, $15 an hour. It's laughable. It's laughable to argue about giving somebody 15 when it's gonna help them if they have a second job making 15, but a first job and only job making $15 an hour.
Yeah.
If you go on this website, mitlivingwage.com, you will see that at $15 an hour, after taxes, something around $24,000, $26,000 a year, you can't have any kids. You probably can't have a car. You can't have anything.
Yeah.
So my point is, you have to do other things to increase your cash flow. So what we see, they see this. I mean, this MIT living wage is something that a lot of people use this. When I talk about a lot of people, I mean news stations, editors, writers. They use this data to argue points. And they know that $15 is not enough. But when you kept wages from the people for so long, I guess they say, well, we have to start somewhere. And what I mean by that is, this is 2021. This is my 30th year anniversary, 30th year, 30 years since I graduated. I graduated in 1991, Bridgeport, Connecticut. Shout out to Bassick High School. I gotta give that shout out.
Hey, I'm class 91 too, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
You know what I mean? The green and gold. So many great people came out of there, class of 91. But back then, I was making my first job in like 87, 88. I was making $4. So you're telling me almost over 30 years, and you're trying to tell me the minimum wage is going to be $15 an hour? Right now, in some states, it's at $7.25.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Where I'm at in Charlotte, it's like $7.25. You might get $10, $15. What are we talking about?
Yeah.
You know, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
And they're arguing back and forth, said, no, we can't do that.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So when you talk about the culture and the lady at the window, there's a lot she doesn't know, but she's already in life. It's hard to go back. She's already into it. You know? Which is why the children are so important. Before they get into it, they need to know.
And that's how I was telling him. I'm like, you know, I don't know her backstory, you know, but I use it as a learning opportunity, you know. So I didn't know. I mean, she could have lost everything at one point in time and had to start over. You know, so I don't know that. You know, so I can't judge her. But I use it as a learning opportunity, you know, for him, so he knows that, hey, you know, life is not gonna give you everything that you want. You know, your entitlement doesn't, you know, fulfill everything that you think you're gonna fulfill just because you think it's supposed to happen. You know, and you know, he wants to play football. You know, I said, listen, your dedication is not there yet. You know, you play, but how hungry are you? You know what I'm saying? Every young man at some point in time wanted to be a football player. You know what I'm saying? NFL player. Baseball. Or basketball. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, like I tell him, I said, if you get up at 5, that's somebody else that was up since 4. You know what I'm saying? You got to want it. And but I tell him all this to keep him on his toes. You know, because you know, there's a lot of kids out there that don't have that mentor to say, hey, this is what you're gonna need to do, so you don't have to make $7.25 an hour at the age of 40 years old. You know, you have to stay on your toes, have a backup plan. You know, make sure you're in your game at all times. So, but I have seen this, and I don't know if you noticed it, and because the debate about $15 an hour, you know, I feel like the wage should be higher. Don't get me wrong, you know, but I also think that the quality of the deliverable should be better as well. You know, so I say that to say, when I go into, say for instance, I go into a restaurant and I get attitude, or the person, just for example, and just you give me your opinion on this, because it's just a observation of mine when I went into a restaurant. So I went to a restaurant, and I won't say the restaurant so I don't get sued if somebody come looking for me. But I went to a restaurant.
I know that.
and I was gonna order, you know, a meal. It was like, you know, a burger, fries, and whatever. So a young man comes out of the back, and when I walk in, I can see a young lady sitting on the table in the back on one of the food tables. She's sitting there on her
Oh
phone,
wow.
you know, chilling.
Right.
You know, sitting on the table, her butt on the table. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm already discouraged. I'm like, okay, this is how we doing. We put out, you know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
you fix food on that table. So he
Yeah.
comes out and he on his phone. So
Oh, wow.
granted, we in COVID times right now. You know,
Yeah.
he got gloves on, but he on his phone still with the gloves
Right.
on. And the phone is the nastiest thing you can touch.
Right.
You know, got the most germs. So I
Right.
watched this young man.
Yeah. Spitting on it and everything.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he go to the fryer, pull the fryer up, and whatever's inside the fryer, he picked it up with his hand, you know, and
Oh,
put it
man.
in somebody's bag. And I'm like, and
Oh,
so,
you was at a greasy spoon, man.
yeah, pretty much.
You was
So
at a
I'm like-
greasy spoon, bro.
So I'm like, man, and but this is a high end, not a high end. This is a franchise though. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Oh,
So
wow.
I'm like, where the manager at? I'm like, this is how y'all operate. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
he on his phone with one hand, you know what I'm saying, picking whatever's in the fryer up, putting it in somebody's bag with the other hand. And I'm like,
Yeah,
man.
right.
So I walk out. I'm like, no, I'm good.
You
know
good,
what I'm
right,
saying?
right.
That's only
right.
one of so many situations that I found that I'm like, man, does everybody deserve to get $15 an hour? Or, you know what I'm saying? It's like, is everybody trained to that level to where you earn your pay? You know what I'm saying? It's like, I kind of feel like for example, as a carpenter, you know what I'm saying? Your craft allows you to make that money because that's your craft. You take pride in what you do. You know what I'm saying? So if you create something, if you build something, whatever, you get paid for your craft. So, and when I look at it, and the same for me, you know, I get paid for what I do because that's my craft. That's my skill set. You know,
Right.
I do cyber, and cyber is a new career field, but I become good at what I do, and I get paid to do what I do. You know what I'm saying? So
you can demand what you want.
Exactly. So I think that when I walk in somewhere to get customer service, and I got somebody, you know, either on their phone to get my order on, blah blah blah, and I'm not the kind of person I don't go off on anybody inside a restaurant. I don't trip. You know, I kind of watch how I talk to people that's messing with my food anyway.
Yeah, right. That's,
you know what I'm saying?
that's
It's
what
like,
you're supposed to do.
You know what I'm saying? It's like
Right.
I watch that, you know.
Right.
But what I do understand that there is like for example, somebody just posted. Matter of fact, this is my brother. He's gonna make the cost of living go up. See, you know, it's like when you raise the minimum wage, then people want more. You know what I'm saying? Like the industry, the retailers don't have to charge more because they got to pay more. You get what I'm saying? So,
well, here's the deal.
No, go ahead. You good.
Well, I was gonna say, here's the deal. When a company looks at its numbers, it looks at where they're getting most of their sales, and they look at the projected growth of those numbers increasing over a period of time. Now, I'm gonna tell you, it costs a lot to train. Training costs a lot of money, and if this person doesn't work out, that's money lost.
True.
Like if you train someone and you find out, man, that person's not showing up for work, they're not doing this, they're not doing that. So they're decreasing the amount of money they put into training and increasing it somewhere else. Because truth be told, people aren't even coming in anymore. A lot of things are being done online, and companies are looking at this. I mean, Amazon, I mean, come on. I could order, well, it's 7:30 now, but 2 hours ago, I could have ordered something and had it dropped off on my porch.
Yeah,
had no contact with anybody.
True.
So when you see that and you see it catching on the way it's catching on, like I say, Amazon and Walmart and Instacart, and these things are happening, companies look and say, where are we going in 10 years? Do we continue to spend money on training individuals to greet customers?
True.
Or do we start putting money into this? Because if they don't, remember, there's a big shift going on. There's a shift going on worldwide, nationwide. Take our time, young brothers, people like yourself, myself, we need to look and see, where is this thing going in 10 years, 20 years? Where is this going? It reminds me of something my grandfather told me when I was in my early 20s. He was in his 60s and he was the foreman at a job. He was the foreman. Everybody cultures. And he told me, he said, Daryl, this was when I was in my 20s. I'm 47 now. He said, 2 things you need to learn: how to type and how to speak Spanish. Because you know why? He saw that community was coming here and they were going to keep on coming. And if I wanted to be valuable to the industry, I needed to learn how to speak Spanish. He saw that years ago. So for you and I, we need to look at what's on the horizon
Mm-hmm.
and prepare our children.
True.
Or and prepare our children in general, you know?
Mm-hmm. And that's huge for us because, like I said, as a culture, we a lot of people try, like these days. I can see, for example, my nephew. You know, he runs a business. He's only, I think my nephew's 21. I think it is. My brother's online. He can confirm.
Oh,
my niece, she's 24, about to be 25, and they have their own business.
Oh, wow.
You know, they run their own businesses. And my son, you know, he was doing, you know, he's running his own business at a point in time where he does photography. So I think it's about the culture of your family makeup that we push, you know, these things to where you work for yourself. You know, when you work for yourself, you don't have to pay. Like somebody I always told my son, and you know, I don't know if he's gotten it yet, but I tell him all the time, the people who do the least work make the most money. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, as we move on,
you think about Walmart. There's employees at Walmart that stock the shelves, that work the registers, that clean the floors and everything else, right?
Right.
The CEO and the people that own Walmart, or the Waltons or whatever, they're on the beach somewhere chilling. You know what I'm saying?
Beach chilling.
They're on the beach chilling somewhere. It's all about creating a machine that runs, and all you gotta do is check on it. You guys, it's a system. You gotta check on it every now and then. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, and I told him before, I said, listen, you know, because I thought about opening up a barbershop. You know what I'm saying? I don't cut hair. I only got a certificate to cut hair. But I can buy the building. You know what I'm saying? I can put the chairs in there, and I can hire qualified barbers to do the job. You know,
and add to your income.
And add to my income. Exactly.
You don't see, that's what I'm saying. You don't have to stop doing what you're doing.
Exactly. Yep.
Keep doing what you're doing. Just add to it.
Exactly.
Just add to it. You brought up your children. You brought up your children, your nieces and nephews in the business. The shirt that I'm wearing, this is my son's brand. I always wear his stuff. I never worry about, oh, you're not going to be worried that you have a sweatsuit on? Well, it's my son's sweatsuit. It's his sweatshirt. So I'm wearing my son's hoodie. Nice. So what happened real quick, when he was about 14, I flew over to Houston where he was at the time, and I said, what you want for your birthday, son? And, you know, it's different when he's 14 as opposed to when he was 4. I got him what he wanted or what he watched on TV, right? I knew something was coming. I said, man, I better bring the bag because he's going to be in my pocket, you know?
Yeah.
Lo and behold, Ra, real quick, we go to the mall, which is not my favorite place. I don't like going to the mall, right? Not because of the spending, I just don't like it.
Yeah.
So we buy about $400, $500, $600 worth of clothes. And I started thinking, he's getting into high school. I'm going to do this for the next 4 years and get no return on the money. So I said, Duncan, we're going to do this. And the next year he asked me, Dad, when am I going to start working? I said, you're going to start working now. We're going to get you a clothing line. It's going to solve 2 problems. It's going to solve me spending all this money on your shirts and your clothes.
Yeah.
And you're going to make some money in the process. So that's what we did. We launched it last year when he turned 15. This is the 1-year anniversary. February 22nd was he turned 16. So DuncanAvery.com and get some of his apparel. He's 16. He doesn't even really know what he has right now, but 5 to 10 years.
Hey, let's go and put that across the banner too. Hold on. Let's knock him in the head with it real quick. Hold on. Let's see. And you said it. What is it again?
DuncanAvery.com.
Duncan Avery. Avery?
Yeah. Avery. That's correct. DUNCAN. Avery.com. So like I say, last year we launched it last year. Pandemic started about a month later, but we're picking it up. We're picking it right back up now, and we're doing some new things, creating some new styles, and getting ready and I'm working with him, understand, so that he can understand. And like I always tell him, I said, listen, I always tell him, if you don't get it, you cannot tell anybody that your father didn't try to give it to you, because you will not be able to say that.
Nice. Hey, that was a smart move though, man, for real. And it's funny you say that because, like I said, my son, he does photography, man. And it's just like when he said he wanted to start, doing shows or whatever, not shows, but doing photo shoots. I told him, I said, let me know what you need, and I would buy the equipment he needed or whatever. Because, like I said, you have to, as black men, we get a bad rep, and we get a bad rep for not being there for our children. Right. So, when I see a brother like you, brothers like my brothers, my best friends, man, these cats who, even females that I know, who put their children in places to where they can succeed. You get what I'm saying? It's an awesome feeling. You know what I'm saying? To know that there's brothers like you out there that still setting your kids up for success. It's just like, for example, I'm gonna give a plug real quick. My boy, and I was giving a plug. It's chivalryrevive.com. I'm saying Chivalry is the young man that I told you that does the mentoring for the young Boys and Girls Club. Okay. He has a clothing line as well called chivalryrevive.com. And what it does is it teaches young adults about chivalry and how important it is. But he also has a clothing line that backs it up. And actually, he working on some shirts for me so I can rock them on the show, so I can promote them as well.
Rock them, man. Rock them, man.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like we got to support our people.
Get a return for your presence out here.
Exactly.
We have
to, man. We gotta support our people.
I don't mind saying Nike. We have to, man. Nike, Reebok, Adidas. Yeah, they look nice, but I don't get no return when I buy.
Oh
yeah,
stuff.
I do not get no return. I haven't spent any money on that kind of stuff for over 2 years, 2 to 3 years. I just don't do it.
Yeah, no, most definitely. So listen,
I don't do it.
I know people. I know some more people. They gonna want to know more. So let me ask you this: say, I guess I put it in a situation. Say, for instance, you got somebody out there that wants to buy a house. All right, and for your financial background, just kind of want to see if I can get you to give them a roadmap on what they need to look like, what it needs to be when they go towards purchasing their first house or purchasing a house. Period. What do we need to know moving forward when we get ready to go purchase a house? Also, some important points.
Great question. Well, you really need to know the real amount that you're netting each month, each week, each year. You really need to know what you're honestly netting. And you don't want to have your expenses, your overall expenses, exceed 30% of your real net. Again, I'm not talking about gross, but that's where we miss. That's where we get, I don't want to use that word, but that we need to be on our net. And once you start there, put it on paper and see it. It may be painful. A lot of people don't want to see it. Look at it. If you're only making $50,000 a year, then that's just what you're making. But hope it's not lost. You can increase that. $10,000, $12,000 a year doing other things. Get into it the right way. Get into it the right way. As far as credit, you have programs out there telling you can be approved, and I talk about this in my book a lot. You can be approved for a 620 credit score, a 580, even some places as low as a 580. It's not good. You need to be a 720 in that range before you go purchase a property. Now that's just the credit score. That's going to give you good rates without all of that assistance, programs, those programs that really, you don't really get the best interest rate with that stuff. They tell you do, but you don't always get the best interest rate with that stuff. More, you want to have a true understanding of how much you have as your net. Look at your expenses. Most of us only use our debit card. Very few people use cash, right? Very simple. Just look at your month statement. Go line by line and see what you continuously spend your money on. And see if you absolutely have to, or is it just a pleasure? Okay? Yeah. Because once you realize, what was going through that I was shopping this much? I never shopped this much. Maybe you were going through some emotional change, and that's why you did that. You see what I'm saying? So we have to take a real accountability of what we have coming in, the true number, not the gross, but the net, and what we are spending. What we are spending. Sometimes, like my grandfather used to say, sometimes you just got to do without.
True. That's true, man. And that's I think
you got to do without.
Sometimes as a culture, and I think sometimes, like you said, we don't understand. We have to sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? Sacrifice is big when you're trying to do big things. But I also see, and I think as a younger generation, and I know I'm probably gonna have some people on here kind of reply to this, and I wish they would. I wish I get some feedback. But the new generation, when we listen to music, we watch TV, we're always talking about we balling. You know what I'm saying? We got to ball out. You know what I'm saying? We got $200-$300 belts, and you know what I'm saying, $700 pair of shoes, and stuff that we really don't. You know what I'm saying? Even like I hear songs talking about 4Gs. They got 4Gs now. I don't even know what a 4G is, but I know it's expensive because it's only 5 different songs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I say that to say that we follow these trends, and trends get us into situations that we probably shouldn't be in. A lot of times, that's a whole other show, bro. Right, right. It's like, and I guarantee
you right there, man. And
it's just I guarantee you,
that's crazy.
We have to be able to, find out. Like you said, I didn't even think about the whole emotional spending type thing. I don't know
man, that's big, man.
I don't know if that's in the book or not, but that's huge.
It's in the book. It's in the book. I mean, I talk about the emotional spending. I talk about the impressive spending as a single guy. You want to look a certain way. You want to have this look.
Yeah.
This appearance.
So it's
babe, this is the for house. This is my car. Take it or leave it.
Yeah.
It is what it is. You know what I mean?
It's funny you say that.
So
I'm guilty of that in a sense. So
we all are. It's no big deal. We all are.
I'm guilty. And I will say this because this will help somebody out. About 2 years ago, I moved into a high-rise apartment, right? And I did it because I was single. I'm like, man, I'm single.
Yeah, right.
I got the image. Yeah. I got the nice ride. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be back. I'm trying to get into that. And I look back a year was been like almost a year and a half. I look back a year and a half because now, I'm out of there. But I look back a year and a half. I'm like, man, this is the worst investment I ever made. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Because the scenes, like the views are beautiful. Don't get me wrong, the views are beautiful and the atmosphere. But I'm not into hanging out downtown. That's not my scene. So I never did all the stuff that people do. They go down, right downstairs is the club, or right downstairs is a really nice fancy restaurants, and I'm not into all that. So I never took advantage of all that. The best thing I got out of the deal was a nice apartment and a great view. But I spent a year inside because of the pandemic. So you get what I'm saying? So I look at it like, man, that's the worst investment I ever made.
Right.
And 90% of the time I was by myself. So it wasn't a great investment. I would have had the same experience.
I mean,
in a 1-bedroom apartment somewhere.
You can only really get one now. You can only get one, man. That's all you need now.
That's it.
Make her happy and be good with it. Just don't even worry about trying to pile them up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Forget the notches in the belt. Say that for them young fellas, man.
Yeah, that's for them young fellas. Exactly. I'm not like I said, I found the woman of my dreams, and you know what I'm saying? It's like I ain't got and I didn't find her downtown, so it's just like it was a waste of time anyway. You get what I'm saying?
Well, I tell you what, man. I talk about relationships and how to budget that thing, and because a lot of times marriages are the worst for finances. Sometimes, you got two people with two separate accounts, not working together, paying different bills. You pay that, I'll pay that, baby. If we're gonna be one, we're gonna be one for real. So I talk about that in the book, man. It's real. I hope my desire is that it'll save some marriages. If you're struggling with finances, you, the wife, or not you per se, I'm just saying your audience. If you're struggling with finances, especially if you just get into it. Again, I wrote the book for my kids. They haven't experienced a monogamous. So this is a guide for them, especially, and for whoever's struggling with it, to kind of just try it, see if it works. I've tried it. It does work. So,
nice.
You know, but definitely get the book. There's a lot of stuff going on there. If you're a single guy, there's some things in there, and you can still have a good time. But we're responsible for 90% of the dates, man. So if we go out on if we're trying to juggle 5-10 women, spending 90% every time we go out, you can't maintain that, bro.
Hey, man, when I tell you, I told my woman this. I was like, man, being a single man is the worst thing ever. Like when you, if you
crazy, boy.
If you dating and you paying for every date, and a date gonna run you between, I would say $60 to $100. That's a date. If you include gas, dinner, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's dating is crazy, you know, and going 2-3 days a month. That's a month. You know what I'm saying?
A month, man. A month, man. You know what I mean? Everything is hybrid and fever, man.
Man, what?
I'm done.
It's crazy.
I'm off the market, man. Yeah, I'm
me
off
too.
the market.
Me too.
I'm out of the dating game. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
I don't have to deal with that. But I just wanted to leave something for my son. Dude, don't be out here trying to date everybody. Find you somebody that's going to appreciate you for you, what you have, what you don't have, what you're working for, and be happy with that and move forward.
Exactly. And I even told somebody that, because I stopped dating at one point in time for a year. You know, and people be like, well, you gonna take me on a date? I was like, we can do a meet and greet. You know what I'm saying? I meet you for coffee. That's it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
And look, they go Facebook Live or stream. You know, we meet like that. We do a date like that.
9 times out of 10, I ain't gonna like you anyway. So why am I gonna spend $60, $70 on a date? You know what I'm saying? And I don't even like you. You know, that's crazy. I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm good.
Well,
you know
look, she looking at it like, hey, I'm hungry.
I got a free meal. Exactly.
Yeah,
hey, brothers, let me tell y'all something. Y'all single brother out there, I'm off the market, but I'm telling you, if you single, you know what I'm saying, the best route to go, do you a meet and greet, do you a Zoom meeting, whatever you do, don't spend money on all these women trying to go out every night, because I'm telling you, some women out there for them, some women out there for the meals. I'm telling you that now.
Yeah.
I know.
You put them on blast. You put them on blast right now. You know what I'm saying? You put them on blast, man. You might be losing some hope, man. Hey, but listen, it's the truth.
I'm telling you, it's expensive, man. I'm trying to tell you, man. So listen, we coming up on an hour, man. Like, I don't know how it went so fast, bro, but listen, promise me, man, that you're gonna come back, because we're gonna do this again.
Anytime, man.
We're gonna talk to some young men, man, get them straight. We're gonna talk to some old men and get them straight. I know some old men with bad credit. So
man, hey Rob, man, I'm working on a new piece right now, man, and we'll talk about it off the air. I'm working on a new manuscript, serious piece, man, real in depth. And I'm looking for some help from some brothers.
Okay, definitely.
Just to be able to some real issues and you know, put it on paper and publish it, put it out to the world.
Man, this is the type of environment we're trying to create, man, because like our young men need this. You know what I'm saying? This is and not only our young men, you know, our young women need this as well, because what we do is we like to teach our young men how to treat our young women. And we like to teach our young women on what to require. You know, they have to and it's something that my boys say, you know, like I said, my boy Calvin, Chivalry Revive, you know, chivalry is not dead. You know, a lot of women just stop requiring it. You know, so when we teach our young men what to you know, give, the respect to give, and how to treat our young women. You know, I have a daughter too. Matter of fact, my daughter's 19. Today she turned 19. And
oh wow, happy birthday
to my baby girl, Layla. You know, it's like we had to teach our young women on what to expect. I teach, you know, I try to teach them that to be independent. You know, because when a man feels like you dependent on him, he treats you the way he wants to treat you. But when you're independent, you're able to take care of yourself, you know, you don't need a man. You know what I'm saying? You don't need a man to, you know, be that, like, do everything for you. I feel like, you know, we talk about it all the time. A relationship is 100%. You both get 100%. You know, you're gonna go to the top. You know,
right?
And And if we teach our young men how to treat these young women and teach them what to require, man, we're gonna go a long way. So we're gonna keep doing this, man.
Go a long way. That's right.
We're gonna keep doing this, and like I said, like my boy said, chivalry's not dead, man. We definitely gonna continue to push it. Push respect. So, hey, one more thing before you go, man. If you had one thing to say to our youth, man, as far as their financial health, man, just give them something to walk away with. You know what I'm saying? And then I tell them. After hold on, I didn't mean to cut you off, but after you tell them that, tell everybody again where they can find you, and then we're gonna go out with it.
Okay. To the youth, I just say be patient. Enjoy the moments of your life. Enjoy every moment. As long as you're living, just keep learning. Keep learning from your mother and father. Keep learning from your neighbor. Just keep learning, and take that in and apply it to your life. Some of the things you learn, you're not gonna apply it in the future. Some of them, the things you learn, you don't need. But learn what you don't need, and learn what you don't know. Know what you do not know. Seek out information. Always seek good information. Don't do things unless you really know. If somebody gives you something, that's a reference. You go back and make sure, check it, verify it, make sure that it's what it's supposed to be before you go ahead and get yourself involved in it. And you can get the book. You can get the book on Amazon. Christmas is coming. All I want for Christmas is good credit and positive cash flow. Okay. And also on my publishing website, charge it the number 2 pound. Ra, I appreciate you, man. I love this platform. I love your consistency. There's a lot of people that have, reached out to me, not saying anything, not that I'm this big author. If you're not consistent, I'm just not gonna. I'm attracted to consistency.
Yeah. And
you guys have been consistent. I know your partner's not here. Again, my prayers go out to him and his family. Happy birthday to your daughter.
Thank you.
That's just a blessing to be able to be in touch with her. You know what I mean? For her to have a father, that's a big deal, man.
Yeah, man.
So,
Hey, look, man.
That's it, man.
Man, hey, it's been real, man. Like this type of stuff that we live for,
yes, sir.
Type of stuff that we, we build a platform for, man. Because I guarantee you, man, these kids, if you didn't learn anything tonight, you wasn't listening. You wasn't listening. We dropped it. If you didn't learn something tonight, man, you wasn't paying attention. Go out and get this book. Christmas is coming. And it's I guarantee I'm going to get it. Matter of fact, I'm going to get it.
That's it.
And I'm trying to get my signed copy, so I'm going to get it, and I'm gonna send it to you. Get my signed copy.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
Hey,
absolutely,
man. So check this out, man. It's been your boy Rajeen, man. I've been chilling with Daryl Harmon, man. If you didn't, like I said, if you wasn't listening, man, you didn't learn, man. Hey, look, I'm working on my credit right now. Don't feel bad if your credit score is low right now. Work on it. You know what I'm saying? Get where you need to be.
Increase that cash flow.
Increase that cash flow, man. We are like build that residual income, man.
Do it, man.
Hey, so look, it's been your boy Rajeen hanging out with Daryl Harmon. We're gonna be out of here, man. Give it up, man, for Daryl Harmon, man. And we're gonna do it again.
Y'all, man.
We're gonna do it again this weekend. Hey, I'm hooking you up, Daryl. I'm bringing you back. You know what I'm saying? So anyway,
I appreciate you, man.
Be real, man. We out of here, man.
About the power and the money and the fame. Get it out the concrete, that's how we made the name. Bow down, kiss the ring. Wear my flaws like a crown, that's why they call me the king. All about the power and the money and the fame. Get it out the concrete, that's how we made the name. Bow down, kiss the ring. Wear my flaws like a crown, that's why they call me the king. K-I-N-G, yeah, they gon' envy. I'm still street, you get the beats like an MP. Still saying 10T, low to my Benji. Dirt all on my boots or on my heels like a NC. I was